Whose side are you on?
I just want to finish my work here and...
Doctor?
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be going blow for blow with Captain America and Iron Man to see which hero stands taller.
Is that a problem?
I don't trust a guy without a dark side. Call me old-fashioned.
We're evaluating a wide range of categories to determine the number one Avenger, and we're considering a lot more than just who would win in a fight.
Captain, you seem a little defensive.
Well, it's been a long day.
Round 1, Origin Story.
You just don't know when to give up, do you?
I can do this all day.
If there's anything we've taken away from Captain America's origin story, it's that a soldier is a lot more than just a rifle. Steve Rogers grew up with a burning desire to serve his country and protect his friends. Unfortunately, being a 90-pound asthmatic weakling didn't accommodate that dream very well.
Sorry, son.
Look, just give me a chance.
You've been eligible on your asthma alone.
It was when he was imbued with the super soldier serum that he came into the ability to protect his country's civil liberties in World War II.
Who are you supposed to be?
Captain America.
Beg your pardon?
Captain America's legacy would continue to live on in the present day, when his final mission left him preserved in ice until he was discovered by the Avengers years later.
You've been asleep, Cap, for almost 70 years.
Tony Stark, on the other hand, might have grown up in a much more comfortable life, but his background is still no less dramatic.
What's going on?
While field testing weapons for the US government to be used in Vietnam, now swapped out for the modern-day Middle East, Tony Stark is attacked and taken captive by the enemy.
I refuse.
Stark is forced to create a life support system for himself while also being forced to build weapons for his captors at the same time. Creating a suit of armor to both keep himself alive and escape his captors, Iron Man was born.
My turn.
Both Captain America and Iron Man have had interesting and compelling backstories. Captain America's roots as an underdog who dreams of being a hero make him a much more relatable hero than a billionaire playboy philanthropist. That being said, Tony Stark's transformation is actually more impressive, especially when you consider that he turned his entire life around just to do the right thing and be a hero.
There's the next mission, and nothing else.
Winner, Iron Man.
You're a laboratory experiment, Rogers. Everything special about you came out of a bottle.
Round 2, Villains. In Steve Rogers' eternal battle for freedom and democracy, he often opposes supervillains that not only hope to see the hero's end, but the end of the world as he knows it. Most notable is the Nazi-esque organization Hydra, whose sole mission extends into global domination.
Arnim Zola was a German scientist who worked for the Red Skull. He's been dead for years.
First correction, I am Swiss.
Captain America's battle against the organization has spanned over the course of decades, as Hydra's influence has survived through the leadership of villains such as Baron Zemo and the Red Skull.
Finally, we agree. Goodbye, Captain America!
Being one of the world's forerunners in military technology and robotics definitely attracts some negative attention. Combine that with the fact that Stark uses this technology to make the world a better place definitely puts him on the bad guys' radars.
I want to make Iron Man look like an antique. I want to go to that Stark Expo. I want to take a dump in Tony's front yard. You know what I'm talking about?
While a number of Iron Man villains are corporate rivals that just hope to see Tony's legacy crumble, there are a few, such as the Mandarin, that wish to challenge the genius billionaire's fortitude with the fate of the world at stake.
And then he called.
As both Iron Man and Captain America are members of the same superhero team, there is some serious overlap when it comes to the villains they fight. However, villains like the Red Skull and the Mandarin can be associated with the individual heroes.
Impressive.
You got no idea.
Iron Man may have a larger rogues gallery, but Captain America's villains are so much more sinister, well-recognized, and long-lasting than anyone that Shellhead has had to face. Winner, Captain America.
You don't give up, do you? Nope.
Round 3, Sidekicks, Allies, and Friends.
So let's get this straight.
We barely got out of there alive and you want us to go back?
Pretty much.
Once again, we hit a category with some major overlap. Being teammates, Stark and Rogers share a lot of friends and allies like Thor, the Wasp, Nick Fury, and so on. During the events of Marvel's 2006 storyline, Civil War, almost every hero was forced to take a side, but those decisions were made largely for political reasons rather than loyalty towards the individual.
On the roost!
Hey everyone.
Captain America may have inherited the strength to bear the country's weight on his shoulders, but with friends like these, he'll never have to go it alone. During the era of the hero's first debut, Steve's sidekick was his childhood friend and war buddy, Bucky Barnes. Bucky's undying loyalty for Steve was strong enough to overcome the brainwashing he underwent when his body was recovered by the Russians and he then became the Winter Soldier.
Fury, he doesn't know what he's doing!
This camaraderie is only slightly rivaled by that of Cap and Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon.
I can't ask you to do this, Sam. You got out for a good reason.
Dude, Captain America needs my help. There's no better reason to get back in.
In Tony Stark's position, there are very few instances where you can confidently call someone a true friend. James Rhodes and Tony met during his escape from the dictator Wong Chu, and the ex-Marine has vowed not only to be the tech billionaire's personal pilot, but his ally in combat.
You want to do this whole lone gunslinger act, and it's unnecessary. You don't have to do this alone.
You know, I wish I could believe that.
Years later, Rhodes was given the War Machine armor when Tony's health went into decline, and the two were able to partner up and fight evil as equals. And of course, how could we forget Tony Stark's loyal friend and colleague, Happy Hogan, who was offered a job at Stark Industries after pulling Mr. Stark out of a burning car. Hogan is second only to Pepper Potts as the most reliable person at Stark Industries, a woman Stark trusts so much, he even lets her wear his Iron Man armor when the situation calls for it. While the friendship Stark has with Potts, Hogan, and Rhodes is indeed strong, the list of heroes and friends who could take a grenade for Cap is too long to ignore. Winner, Captain America.
Now, let's go show the Red Skull that his day is over!
Round 4, Themes and Ideals.
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
As loved by some as he is loathed by others, there's no denying that there's a lot more to Tony Stark than meets the eye, wealthy as he is. Iron Man has made his fortune the same way he's made his notoriety, and that's from developing military-grade weapons, making him responsible for the deaths of many innocent people.
You try to rewrite your own history, and you forget all the lives the Stark family has destroyed.
Tony's battle with guilt and self-doubt eventually culminate as a battle with alcoholism, adding an element of self-destruction not commonly addressed in the comic book universe.
You're gonna kill yourself, Tony. I'm not gonna be a part of it.
One of Stan Lee's greatest and most innovative talents was the ability to create heroes who are everything one expects from a comic book icon while being flawed and relatable at the same time.
What made you so special?
Nothing. I'm just a kid from Brooklyn.
As iconic a hero as Captain America is, Marvel struggled for years to give him more dimension and keep his personality up to date with relatively modern heroes. The guy wears an American flag, for God's sake.
Series E defense bonds. Each one you buy is a bullet in the barrel of your best guy's gun.
The character's patriotic identity and Western appeal resonates with the time period he was conceived in, and has only really stood the test of time through carefully constructed storylines.
You guys did some nasty stuff.
Yeah, we compromised.
Sorry, Cap, while there's nothing wrong with being an absolute defender of truth and justice, we're suckers for the conflicted hero trope. Iron Man takes this round. Round 5, the movies.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Iron Man not only had the pleasure of kicking off the Marvel Cinematic Universe with his first film, but he eventually graced the big screen with a total of 3 solo films. Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Tony Stark remains consistent throughout, while the character itself has evolved because of his input.
Been in a tough spot, and he got me through it, so... right?
A large part of the film's success has to do with RDJ's performance, but there is plenty of action and drama to be found in there as well. Despite existing within the same cinematic universe, Captain America: The First Avenger was successful in making the audience love the character who is, let's face it, a little goofy on paper.
You're not really thinking about picking Rogers, are you?
I wasn't just thinking about it. It's a clear choice.
Opting to create a World War II movie with the superhero, rather than a superhero set in a World War II movie, helped make that movie, and Cap himself, an instant success.
You know how to use that thing?
The sequel, Captain America: Winter Soldier, took Steve Rogers from a superhero to an action film star, destroying all notions that the character couldn't stand on his own in a solo film set in the present day, although Black Widow and the Falcon did help in that regard. While Captain America's movies stand on their own, it's the Iron Man films that not only launched the cinematic universe, but are most commonly considered to be the best standalone superhero films. And it's hard to argue with Robert Downey Jr.'s performance. Winner, Iron Man.
I had my eyes open. I came to realize that I have more to offer this world than just making things to blow up.
It would seem that Iron Man blasted Cap away with a narrow victory of 3-2. So, did we pick the right team? Be sure to debate in the comments, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to WatchMojo.com for more entertaining versus battles.
you